I think the rule, Kevin, is that you have to have your puppy on your lap for the bulk of the meeting.
Yeah, I think I'd probably end up with a pretty wet lap. He's not still working on that.
That's a very cute puppy.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun.
Yes, he's fun while he hasn't chewed up your furniture yet. But
Yeah, he's trying. Well, we got smart after a few of them. We always moved we got, you just move the bad legs back to the front. The legs that the last dog wrecked, we just put them back on the front.
oh,
Yeah, just
that's clever. I'm dreading having a puppy. They're just the worst. It's a good thing they're so cute.
I realize Everybody needs to mute and turn your speakers off. Should I try that again? Luke, can you tell who's got theirs on? It's not the mic, it's the speakers.
Just working on it now. 1 second, everybody.
Are you trying to do something, Luke?
Yeah, I think I know what it is. Just 1 second.
Okay.
Remote participants, can you hear us?
We can in Chambers. Why am I echoing?
I can hear you.
Can someone talk about their weekend for a moment?
Are you looking for remote or not remote?
Remote and in chambers would be appreciated, but I think we're good.
Okay.
Had a great weekend. Is it through here that you want us to tell you about our weekend? Through the mic?
Give
Hello.
2 minutes, everyone. I think it sounds good now.
Try this. Yes, I'm the king of mute. Hello. Check, am I muted?
All right. I think we're good, aren't we? Okay. It's 2:03. Calling the meeting to order. Sorry about that. All right, we have an agenda in front of us for August 31st, 2020. Attendance at the start of the meeting is 100%. We have 2 members at home over Zoom, and the rest of us are here in chambers. I'm going to look to my right to Councillor Mackay for a motion to adopt the agenda.
Thank you. That the August 31st, 2020 agenda be adopted as presented, even though it doesn't feel like August 31st outside.
Okay, before I accept that, we do need to add, as per Mr. Lafleur's email on Friday, under business items, 8.3, lease approval for Synergy Center. So that will put in as 8.3. So can I have a motion to adopt the agenda as amended?
Do you want me to just continue?
As
As amended,
Yeah.
that the August 31st, 2020 agenda be adopted as amended.
Thank you. All right. So we'll be voting using the yes and no buttons on the participant section of Zoom. So all those in favor? And I'll just do we have, is it Councillor Watkins?
Participants.
Do we have everyone? Okay, sorry, is that unanimous? Okay, figured. We have no registered speakers, so we're going to skip by agenda items 3 and 4. We're now moving on to consent agenda. Is everyone happy with the way consent is, or do we have anyone wanting to pull anything off? I'm seeing no hands up, so can I have a motion to do consent agenda? Councillor Hanson, go ahead.
That the recommendations in the following agenda report be approved. 6.1, Committee of the Whole meeting minutes of June 30th, 2020, July 17th, 2020, and August 19th, 2020, and regular council meeting minutes of August 17th, 2020. 7.1, Community Growth and Infrastructure Standing Committee, draft unadopted minutes and agenda items from August 24th, 2020. 7.2, Community and Growth Standing Committee recommendation, development bonds. 8.1, stormwater rate model recommendation for implementation delay. 8.2, scope change, Granicus contract, and 11.1, civic and external agency counselor updates.
Thank you, Councillor Hanson. It's pretty much the whole agenda. All those in favor? Everyone's done voting, and I think that's unanimous. Yeah, I'm seeing 7. All right, so this will be up to me to read what we just approved on consent now. So I'm not going to read all the minutes. From the Community Growth and Infrastructure Standing Committee, 7.1, the motion was as follows. That the draft unadopted minutes, sorry, this is the package and the unadopted minutes, be received as information. And then we also had one coming out of that committee. And the motion were that council policy CP and E03 be renamed development security. And the amendments to that policy shown in the marked up version attached to the committee report dated August 24th, 2020, entitled Developer Bonds be approved. That the amendments to Council Policy C CAO 01 Chief Administrative Officer Delegation Policy shown on the marked up version of the policy attached to the committee report dated August 21st, 2020, entitled Developer Bonds be approved, and that the following council motions be rescinded. That development agreements provided as attachment 1 and 2 to the February 22nd, 2016 agenda report entitled Standard Development Agreement Template Final Engagement Feedback be approved for the use of the city's new standard form development agreements. And the fourth one was that administration present to council a review of experience to date with revised council policy CP&E 03 development security and at a scheduled regular council meeting in September 2022. All right, moving on, we had the storm rate model has been postponed to January 1st, 2023, and that the funds that were dedicated to, which is $37,700, be carried forward, and that we will do a council workshop early in the next term to update that council with what the stormwater rate changes are. Scope change on Granicus. The change in scope to the Granicus contract as described in the agenda report dated August 31st, 2020 be approved. And Mr. LaFleur said right when we were waiting to start that I went and looked at Bang the Table, and it looks like a really cool platform. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys do with that. Okay, 8.3, lease approval synergy center. Is there a presentation on this, Mr.?
No, Madam Mayor, there isn't. This came up fairly
Okay.
urgently, so there was my confidential lawyer-client privileged email, and that's it.
Okay. Council, so any questions on the actual agreement? We will have to go in camera, but if there's any questions outside of that lease agreement, you can ask them right now, and Mr. LaFleur or Mr. Scoble is here, he's just not in chambers, can advise us if we need to go in camera. So any questions? Wow, awesome. Can I have someone make the motion? It was emailed to us
Yes, and it's in
Everyone
the
have it?
chat as well.
It's in the chat. Thank you, Tamara. I'm assuming that was Tamara. Go ahead, Ken.
That the CAO be authorized to accept a proposal to lease and thereafter enter into a formal lease with Canadian Natural Resources Limited, CNRL, for the portion of the Synergy Center on terms acceptable to the CAO that are outside the parameters of the CAO's independent authority to approve commercial leases of city lands and buildings under CAO delegates, or disappeared. Delegations policy C, and I can't see the rest of it for some reason.
CCAO 01.
Hang on.
Here.
Okay, there it is. CAO-01. And that at the request of CNRL, the terms of the proposal to lease and the subsequent formal lease be kept confidential.
All right, accept that motion. Any comments?
No, I think that most of the
Anyone
comments
else?
would be in camera.
All right, call for the vote. And I see 7 little check marks. That's unanimous. All right, operating line of credit, 9.1. Any questions before we head into second reading? And I assume there's no presentation?
No, there's no presentation.
Hi, Diane. Okay. Anyone have any questions before we do second reading? All right. Can I have a member of council make that motion? Go ahead, Councilor Broadhead. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. That bylaw 26/2020 be read a second time.
Thank you for that. Any comments?
Well, simply that we had the debate and the presentation on first reading. This is simply an extension of our line of credit in response to the COVID pandemic so that we can respond appropriately as a city. So.
All right, call for the vote.
Call me too fast.
That's unanimous. And Councilor Broadhead, can you do third reading?
I could, Madam Mayor, that bylaw 26/2020 be read a third and final time.
Thank you for that. Call for the vote.
I think Councillor Hughes has a question.
Oh,
She's waving.
go ahead, Councilor Hughes.
Thank you. I just wanted to, I know that the line of credit is like substantial. And I just wanted to confirm with administration at this point, we're not actually, while we're getting the line of credit, we're not actually planning to utilize the line of credit. If I understand correctly, we've managed to find the savings and all we need to do is 500,000 from the stabilization fund at this point, right? So I don't want people to get alarmed at home thinking that we're suddenly putting a line of credit of 10 or $20 million and that we're going to be using it. Because my understanding is that we have worked very hard so that we will not hopefully have to use this safety net.
Yes, I would say that that's absolutely correct. And really the line of credit is just to be used as a contingency, just sort of an insurance policy to know that if we ever did get into cash flow issues that we would have a backup plan, but there's no intent on actually using it. Our existing line of credit of 5 million that we have as of now, I think we've only ever used it once for a period of like 2 weeks.
Right. Okay. I just wanted to, so the public was aware that we're doing this, but it's just as a backup and that right now we're looking on track to not have to use it. So that was it. Thank you.
And Ms. McCordy, to actually make a use of the line of credit, does it need council approval or is there a limit?
No, it does not require council approval the way the bylaw is written because it's intended for operating. It's quite different than using long-term debt for using long-term debt for a capital project. So it's intended to be used for a short period of time and then circled back.
Okay.
Like cycled back.
All right. Any more questions? Sorry, I didn't see your hand, Councilor Hughes. When I bring up the participants, it kind of covers your little square. So, all right, call for the vote. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, 7 check marks. We had no emergent items, sort of the lease approval was what we put under business. We did the civic agency updates on agenda item 11. We are racing through this agenda.
Madam Mayor, I just noticed as I'm scrolling through that I'm in there twice for July. I know I had a busy July, but I didn't need to be in there twice. You can just take that.
Because you
out.
sent in too.
No, I'm going to save it up for the
Okay.
next one that's due on Tuesday.
Is it really? Okay. And Councillor Watkins, you and I both did not submit. Did you have anything you wanted to just briefly bring the public aware? Anything? It's no big deal.
I'll just provide it later.
Okay. All right. Information requests. Does anyone have any IRs, any notices of motion, or any announcements? Go ahead, Councillor Bride.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As a information request, does the rail safety upgrade program for Meadowview Drive, does it qualify for the infrastructure, emergency infrastructure plan that was just announced by the government? I'll actually craft it and send it in to you.
Yeah, we'd have to probably go back and relook at the outcomes for the grant. They are very specific in terms of what we can and cannot do. So we'd have to look at, would that be a qualifying project or not?
Yep, fair enough. I was just announcing it. I'll type it up and I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, seeing none, we're going to move on to the in-camera portion. First thing we have is 15.1, which is a land matter. So I need a motion. Go ahead, Councillor Mackay.
That council move in camera to discuss a land matter pursuant to section 24(1)A and 24(1)C of the Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act.
Thank you very much. Call for the vote. All right, that's unanimous. Okay. We will reconvene on a Teams platform. I'm sorry, guys. That was a fast meeting.
Thanks for coming, though.
Yep. And we're going to do the in-camera in here, so you guys have to actually exit. Yeah, 'cause we're not allowed to go in our little lounge area. So am I leaving this Zoom meeting, David? We don't need to come back in public, do we?